So let's wrap up the phone calls about Mahomes and the Chiefs and the villainous ways.
I thought about it more.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a hero.
He's a hero.
Want me to tell you why?
I mean,
heroic.
He went from
play the
very
buzzer.
likable to, man, come on.
I'll tell you why. We're talking about whether or not him trying to draw an
Penalties.
unnecessary roughness or a roughing the passer, is that a little cheap? Troy Aikman got in on it this past weekend. Take a listen.
He's trying to draw the penalty. You see that rather than just run out of bounds, he slows down. That's been the frustration, and I get it. I understand it. That's been the frustration for these defensive players around the league.
And they had some moans and groans about that call where the defense collided against each other. Didn't even touch Mahomes.
Now, if you're Patrick Mahomes, I say he's heroic in the eyes of his teammates because knowing that I'm going to tiptoe along the sidelines and I'm going to actually try to get an undisciplined member of their secondary to run up and, shove me out of bounds, tackle me once I get out. I think Mahomes should be applauded for putting himself out there. That's team play right there.
I mean,
How am I going to get my team?
Look at it.
How am I going to get my team another 15 yards? I'm playing with fire here.
I'm not. That's another way to look at it, Rich. I respect it. I respect your view on it, I should say. But I look at it like, and it's a compliment. I think Mahomes really, truly is, or should hold himself better and higher than that. He doesn't need to do that. It's like LeBron. You lose a little respect for LeBron because you know he's already the GOAT. You know he's one of the greatest out there to ever do it. When he's flopping and playing all these baby games to his advantage, it just looks lame. It's not part of the game that's necessary.
You know when the NFL is going to run to tighten up the rules on this? The first time Mahomes gets lit up. 15 yards, whoever walks away is going to be like, I got my money's worth. Because, Rich, we were joking about bro talks, but you still got wheels when you play in your softball games. Imagine going full speed, and then you had to stop on a dime. It's so hard to do as a defender, and we've seen former players talk about this. Yeah. So what's going to happen is a defender's not going to be able to stop at all, and they are going to clock the you-know-what out of Mahomes.
Now, again, I can't look you guys in the eyes and say I don't think it's a little cheap. But he wants to win, and you could argue he was doing everything in his power to get an advantage. You always defend Andy Pettit because he admitted to taking HGH to get back on the field. I've always been a little sympathetic to steroid users in sports. I'll tell you why. Because if I was at an elite level and you told me, here, take this and you'll be even better, I could see the temptation, dude. If you told me, here, inject yourself with this once a week and you'll be the biggest, baddest radio podcast show ever, I'd be taking performance-enhancing drugs tomorrow.
Well, truthfully, I never commended Pettit for that. I commended him for
his honesty.
His honesty and putting that fire out immediately. And you saw how it worked. The fact that he was honest, no one really got on him.
I'm saying
it's the people that lied and denied all the time that really got the heat.
I think people trying to get an edge in sports, in life, in business. I'll never blame a man or a woman for trying to get what's theirs. However, it's not illegal, so if Mahomes is baiting people,
Okay, so, by those rules, let's say you were dating somebody, right? But technically you had a fight, and you're like, you know what? We need a break. And then they cheated on you during that little weekend. Like, these are baby loopholes that don't necessarily apply.
Wow, that should be a plot line of a big sitcom.
Yeah, but don't you still feel like you were cheated on? Why? Because you played by the little baby rules and you found a loophole, it's okay?
I know what
That's
you're
what
saying.
They're doing on a national stage.
I know what you're saying.
And the microscope is on Mahomes. That little tiptoe on the sideline was the weakest of it yet.
So you're saying a tiptoe on the sidelines and,
that really exposed what's going on.
A 15-yard flag is the same as your girlfriend and you breaking up for a day and you taking that
It's like finding
as a chance to go hook up.
Yes, it's the cheapest loophole possible.
I agree with that loophole. I think that's a great analogy.
Thank you.
The guy that says, "Yeah, but baby, we were like broken up for the weekend." I get it. It's cheap.
We technically weren't together. Oh. Yeah, but why? Because we had a fight, and let it breathe. So anyway, we'll wrap it up with your phone calls. Just speculating, not hating anybody, just chopping it up. 877-99 on Fox.
Let's go to Jersey. E-Rock is ready. What's up, E-Rock?
Hey, E-Rock.
Hey, guys, what's up? I want to talk about football, but first, the Knicks. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I think they should get Scotty Barnes. He's a great player. He'll do good. And or if they could get Rashawn Leonard, that'd be a good pickup too. And also about the Bills, I don't like them in the past because they, to put it bluntly, they're the worst team in football, losing 4 Super Bowls. But I'm rooting for them this year. I think they're going to upset the Chiefs. And Travis Kelce's girlfriend is going to be crying in the stands.
I told my daughter and her friends, my daughter's 7, so all her little pals are all 7, 8 years old that love Taylor Swift, and I said, you guys should all root against the Chiefs. Why, Dad? Because if Taylor Swift is sad, do you know how much new music's going to come out of this? There'll be songs about consoling your man, and I think this is a benefit from the loss.
I'm so fixated on if the Bills do win. I'm waiting there, sitting there waiting for Josh Allen, some of the leaders of the team, to give props to the previous generations of teams that came so close. Because I feel like they deserve it.
This one's for you, Scott Norwood.
I swear. I really want that to happen. I want it to be for the fans of the 90s and the players that came so close, that paved the way for this community of Bills fandom and legacy. I can't wait to see them give credit to Jim Kelly and Norwood and all those other guys.
Thurman Thomas,
Yeah.
Andre Reed, this is for you.
This was for you. I think that's deserved because it was so heartbreaking. I do. I really feel like if they do, they better do that. If they win, I got to see that.
Let's go to Pete in PA. What's up, Pete?
Yeah, when you're talking about all this Mahomes stuff, and it was like probably 6 games ago. If I'm a coach of a team, I tell my defenders, if you get the chance on the sideline to light him up, hit him so hard, crush him in that, do whatever you have to do. I want you to get thrown out of the game. You hit him so hard because what he is doing is nonsense. And I love him. I think he's awesome, but what he's doing is nonsense.
Yeah, I think that's how we all feel. Look, no one wants to see him get hurt, right? And that's the risk because guess what? You don't want to be the guy that hurts Mahomes either.
Yeah.
Man, that's just bad for everybody. But, yeah, we all like Mahomes. He's a likable guy. And this almost goes against his character, right? It doesn't match.
He's a winner.
All right.
He's a slippery little one, isn't he?
He is.
He's a slippery scoundrel. He's a rascal.
We can wrap this because we got Mahomes trivia to do. I know we want to talk about the Hall of Fame inductions. We'll get word on that from DB in a few. But let's wrap up Mark in Missouri. Mahomes, you could agree, a likable guy. My mom even said my mom's a Raiders fan like you, Danny. She goes, I watch quarterback and I hate to say it, he seems like such a nice guy. I'm like, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And his wife and everything. I feel like Mahomes is a great human being. But these little shenanigans, I could see where they rub people the wrong way. You could look at it as he's trying to get an edge, or you could say, it's getting a little dirty now.
You know what's interesting about Mahomes and how he has always carried himself? There are very few opportunities where things have gone wrong for Mahomes. But one of the opportunities was when they were playing the Bills and Kadarius Toney lined up offsides. Remember they busted him?
Yep.
And the Bills end up winning the game. And Mahomes runs to Josh Allen, and instead of saying, good game, you got us on this one, all he did was, that was the worst call I've ever seen. It's the worst call I've ever seen in my life. And so there are very few instances where Patrick Mahomes is on the short side of things.
Right.
So it's interesting to see on how he responds. And there's just been such few work where we have seen where he has lost. They lost to the Buccaneers in a game where they didn't have 2 tackles and he was running for his life and he handled that with grace. I'm just looking at that other one being like, okay, well, what about if things turn sour? Is there that little part of him?
I want to see that part of Mahomes,
edge
right?
of Patrick Mahomes, because we did see it come out on that Bills play.
Does he lose his cool? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll ask him.
Let's wrap with Mark. Mark, you're on. Did we talk to Mark already or no?
No.
Okay.
no.
Hey, Mark. What's up?
Hey, I was just calling about this Mahomes deal. I'm a homer. I'm from Missouri, so these crying about this issue doesn't sit well with me. Let me this discussion about, well, he's just doing it to draw a penalty or a foul. Well, if that's the criterion, my God, let's we don't want these hard counts anymore by quarterbacks, because why are they doing it? To draw a penalty. We don't want these quick snaps when the defense has too many men on the field. Why? Because they're trying to draw a penalty.
Hey, Mark, hey, listen, buddy boy, that was sort of my point, so don't say everyone. I was sort of saying what you were saying, that we always try to get a competitive advantage, and this one it feels a little dirtier because it involves a hit and involves a guy going full speed. Like, what do you expect him to do?
That's what it is,
but
right,
you're right
there.
Like when Aaron Rodgers was the master of the hard count and he got people to jump. What is that? Oh, you tricked me, Aaron.
Yeah, but those rules are clear, right? Like these other rules, like you have defenders tiptoeing around because they don't know what to do.
I think there's a solution, and the solution is simple. Make 15-yard penalties and penalties of this sort reviewable. Because if it's a clearly bad hit, penalty stays. If not, if you see the quarterback, up to shenanigans or it wasn't as bad of a hit as you thought, then you could simply pull the flag and say, there's no foul on the play.
No, then it's 15 yards against them.
Oh.
How about that?
Yes.
Go ahead and flop now, baby.
Now you've gone too far.
Covino, are you a fan when a boxer does this? Let's tap gloves and go.
I hate that. And they do go for a cheap shot because protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
Cheap as hell. And a prime example would be when Floyd Mayweather knocked out Victor Ortiz. That was the weakest knockout I've ever seen. I never respected it. In other words, if you never saw the fight, the golden rule in boxing is protect yourself at all times. And Ortiz was trying to hug Mayweather and just tap gloves, get back at the fight. And in the middle of him trying to show a little respect, Mayweather knocked him out. That's weak. That it is. And I get it. You're supposed to protect yourself, but that's finding a cheap loophole to your advantage.
That's what I think Mahomes does.
I get it, but I don't respect it.
Yeah.
Right? Did Mayweather need to do that? Especially when it's a Floyd Mayweather. He's one of the greats. So, I try to be consistent on that. Good call, Dan Byer.